welcome back to episode 3 of Sam After Dark. Now, you guys, I've been searching the internet, been trying to find some really spooky stories to tell you guys, and I have found this one. This one is called The Car That Ate Your Brain, and it's by Andrew J. Hawkins. And this is on theverge.com, so they have a bunch of spooky stories you can read. And it says, read it in the dark with just the light of your screen. So I was like, I'm intrigued by this. So, here we go. The translucent egg-shaped shuttle glided silently to the curb. A bright light flashed my face, causing my vision to blur, and a second later a woman's gentle voice said, "Welcome aboard, Andrew." The interior of the shuttle was Airbnb sparse but inviting. I sat on the gray leather bench and pulled out my phone. There were several bottles of water next to a box of Kind bars and some succulents. Smooth jazz oozed from hidden speakers. But the shuttle stayed stationary and my phone was dead, a black rectangular void. So I guess his phone went dead and it just showed a weird black screen. The company's shuttles were essentially rolling Faraday cages, no wireless service allowed. They had to be for what came next. The mood lighting suddenly shifted to a spastic, woozy display of neon pinks, blues, and greens as an advertisement for the latest energy drink consumed the shuttle's interior. All trips via the company's shuttles this month were subsidized by the energy drink. That's why they were so cheap. Next month would be underwritten by a dandruff shampoo. The month after that, the U.S. Army. The ad was way louder than it needed to be. The flashing staccato lights were starting to make my eyes burn. I remember a time when you could skip after 5 seconds. I remember being able to opt out. Eventually, the shuttle began to drive. It knew where I was going because it had all of my metadata, including my search history. Over the course of the trip, I was bombarded with targeted ad after targeted ad. The shuttle's AR windshield became a tapestry of wish fulfillment. Images of my face on a more sculpted body in an ad for a bar class. An image of me with a beautiful woman purring about a dating app. Did I know there was available real estate in this neighborhood that was in my price range? My phone was still bricked. I tried shutting my eyes, but infrared sensors picked up on that and the shuttle slowed to a crawl. These ads were mandatory viewing. Opening my eyes again, I was startled by the sudden appearance of a hologram of my mother on the armrest. "Don't forget to buy life insurance, darling," she wailed, her face frozen in anguish. Okay. The shuttle was using a funeral home photo plucked from my cloud as a reference for the hologram. I could tell that because she'd never in her life worn that candy apple pink blush the mortician applied. The algorithm was primed to look for an old photo, but of course the funeral home photo counted as old all these years later. I flinched as her tiny, translucent hand reached for mine. Was I dreaming or was it getting colder? 15 minutes saves you 15%, she moaned. My dead mother stayed with me until the end of the ride, imploring me to buy life insurance. Yankee candles and new air freshener called Avocado Breeze. Finally, the ride concluded and she morphed back to her reference photo before vanishing. I felt cold and wanted to step into the sun, but the shuttle door remained closed and locked, trapping me inside. 3 more ads in exchange for my freedom. The techno music began to peak, building and building. They were cramming in as many images as possible. It became an unreadable blur, but the tempo kept ascending. I felt dizzy, nauseous, near death. In despair, I waited for the beat to drop. Finally, I implored it to, screaming at the flashing screens, begging for relief. But it never came. One night, I guess that's it. But it never came. The relief never. What I'm assuming is he is inside of this shuttle and he's trapped. Click. I don't know what that happens. Anyways, I'm assuming he was trapped in this shuttle, and he's just, that's why this story is called The Car That Ate Your Brain, because, I mean, over and over and over again, ads, over and over and over and over, and not letting him out, and he's trapped in there. So that's what I'm assuming is coming from this, so you can take with that what you will, with the meaning, but he seems like he's trapped in there forever. And his mom comes up with her funeral photo telling him, hey, you might want to buy some life insurance because you know, fixing to die. But how's he supposed to buy life insurance if he's trapped in the shuttle and his phone doesn't work? And he, like, that makes it. But anyways, that's kind of like, ugh, kind of eerie like. Okay, this next story is by, let me see, Addie Robertson, and it's called The Moderators. We're going to find, I don't know what this one's about. Okay. We're going to see though. One night, a woman checked her DMs and found a message listing her home address and threatening to murder her. Okay. Bam, right in the beginning. Like, we're going there, right there, in the beginning. The frightened woman reported the threat and went to sleep. When she woke up, she expected the platform to say the message was protected, free speech as usual, but miraculously, the user had been suspended. The internet had changed. Tech companies began reporting threats to police. They shut down neo-Nazi forums. They banned genocide fomenting propaganda bots, causing fascist political parties to dissolve. The web started to feel almost safe. A few weeks later, the woman picked up her phone to talk to a friend, but the chat app had no on-screen keyboard. Just a list of bland, pre-canned auto replies. She tapped a selection, only to see a link appear below it, recommending a product she'd recently bought. And then in quotations it says, you can log back on when you've calmed down. Okay. The woman swore in frustration and tried again, but her phone had locked up. It sounds like you're angry, bleeped an error message. You can log back in when you've calmed down. It offered to let her online if she bought a health monitoring bracelet and signed up for SoulCycle. Desperate, the woman grabbed a pen and paper, intending to write a letter. But as she signed her name, she realized the internet companies were moderating the postal service too. Ooh, that's kind of creepy, because like, we're all on the internet these days, and it's like, it's social media driven. It's just internet. Everything is on the internet. Shopping, grocery shopping. Now you can get like your fast food delivered to where you are. I mean, the technology world has expanded so much, but I don't think, I mean, in some ways it's good, but then when you think about it, everything you have on this, everything you put in, I mean, it's out there. And like we talk about, I think that's good. That's going to be the last story for the day, for the Sam After Dark. But when you think about it, we have all these conspiracy theories out there about how technology is, you know, there's so many things, like weird things. And I've even heard people say that the Apple company has a main thing that's called the Beast. And everybody's trying to connect the dots, like the Beast, the bitten apple, Eve, Adam. Like, there's so many different conspiracy theories. And I don't know, we put ourselves out there, and then we have to trust our social media apps, the people that run it. How do we know? Like, how do we know we're not being recorded? Because sometimes I could be sitting and talking about something, and even my stepmom has experienced this, can be sitting in another room away from this, not even near this phone, okay? And she has an iPad. It could be in the other room. And somehow, whatever she's discussing or having a conversation about is, she can go to her phone and start looking through Facebook or whatever, and it's there as an advertisement what she was talking about, and she would be in the other room, and she's like, wait, like, how did this device pick up what I was talking about all the way in the other, like, it's really weird. I've had it happen so many times, and you know, whatever you search on the internet, I guess it kind of gets programmed in there, and it becomes like a related ad on your social media platforms and stuff. But it's creepy, and if you think about it, all of us, we are all prisoners to technology. Like, technology is everybody's life and breath right now. Like, these phones, like, it's, you cannot go anywhere without seeing this. That was creepy. Okay, I've had two things. You guys, I'm going to finish my thought about this in a minute, but I've had so many things happening, weird things just randomly that happen, sounds, things have fallen, like, it is so weird. That was, I don't know if the camera picked up that, whatever that was, but that was weird. But anyways, back to my thought. Like, you can't go anywhere without someone looking at their phone. You go to a restaurant, and sometimes people be sitting at the tables, and they're on their phones. No one's having conversations anymore. And it's crazy if you really think about it. But anyways, I know these wasn't like paranormal stories, not ghost related, but this was more like I guess the scary side of technology and everything that we put our lives into. I thought that was interesting. The first story I had read, and I thought that was interesting, that, you know, we take Ubers and we take Lyfts, and we do like things like that, and advertisements, we're constantly seeing those, and I thought that was kind of, you know, it's not scary, but creepy, if that makes sense, if you apply it to your own self. The second story, did not know how that was gonna be told, but yeah, creepy. That was creepy. Sometimes, like, I thought it was gonna be talking about moderators for like YouTube, because some of us are moderators for some of the bigger channels, and I thought that's what that was gonna be about. But yeah. But I guess that's it for this Sam After Dark. I will put a couple of, I'll put a plug in for Jody Dean, Mr. Hunting the Dead. He is in a contest for the Face of Horror, and I just feel like, I know there's a few other people that I know that are running for the Face of Horror. And while I feel like, that's my phone ringing. While I feel like everybody deserves a chance to be the face of horror, especially when you love horror. I personally love horror. But am I the face of horror? Nah, I'm not the face of horror. I might, like, have a face of horror, but, Jody Dean, I think he really deserves this title. And if you can, you know, head over to his Twitter, head over to his Facebook, and click that link, and it's a free vote, and just vote for him, just because you can pay for votes, and that definitely helps, but the daily free vote is just as easy. Just log in your Facebook account, and it's a free vote. This man deserves the Face of Horror, because, as you know, I mean, he owns Dean's Haunted Mansion. He builds his own props. He's all into every bit of that. That is what he does. His whole life's been around nothing but just that. And now, as he has said on his live stream, you know, he is going to be making a horror film. And I think he needs to be this. Like, this has to happen. And stay tuned for the horror film. Please be on the watch. He has announced it into his live stream that I'm going to be in the film. I have no information, you guys. Nothing. I know nothing. But I am excited to be a part of that journey. That's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. So please be on the lookout for that. But I guess that will be all for now. And I hope you guys have a safe weekend. Please pray for everyone that was in the line of Hurricane Ivan. He has wreaked havoc. So prayers are very appreciated until he dissipates into nothing, because he has destroyed a lot of people's lives, and it's one of the biggest storms they said they've ever seen. That's what I heard. Don't quote me on that. Look at your news media and see what they say, but that is what I heard, that it was one of the biggest, strongest. I mean, it was 1 mile per hour away from Category 5. So let's send prayers out to those people, and until next time, stay sweet. Bye. Don't forget to sleep with your lights on.